Hey guys, the devs decided to release a hotfix balance patch in response to the community upset. The patch targeted the following characters: Ramantra, with a decent nerf to Nemesis form, increasing the cooldown and reducing some of the tankiness that the mid-season patch gave him. Not a full revert, but he's not as killable with the health and armor redistribution. He's still very strong, but maybe not a top dog anymore. Definitely still viable though. Zarya, they tuned down the duration of her bubbles and increased the cooldown of both bubbles. She's still overall buffed, but these changes bring her in line a decent bit. Definitely still a great pub stomp pick, since she's such a powerful counter into D.Va and has a practically even at worst matchup versus Ramantra and Maga, who particularly gets an indirect buff in the matchup since he's going to get more value out of Cardiac versus the shortened bubble duration. I don't know why they nerfed Zarya harder than Ram or before other characters, but I do know that she was strong, so maybe on the dev side, her stats were more extreme than what we were seeing. Pharah. This is a huge change and a great step in a better direction and a better balance philosophy. I made a video recently going over how I would balance Pharah without completely gutting the character. In that video, that you can check out somewhere on screen, one of the changes I thought should definitely happen was reducing Pharah's HP to 225 or below so that she is more fragile and punishable. I'm glad the devs actually ended up making this kind of change, since it greatly increases counterplay and punish options versus Pharah without making her completely unviable or gutting her offensive active ability. By lowering stats, you make characters like Pharah much more interactable, and you can fundamentally lessen the stress of facing the character, since more characters are able to outplay her and punish mistakes without necessarily being forced to swap. Hanzo enjoyers can land a headshot and delete her from range. Junk enthusiasts can do some Skyrat shenanigans and go for a high-risk, high-reward one-shot combo. Many characters are more able to kill or duel Pharah more effectively, and people playing Pharah must consider their fights, positioning, and flanks much more, since she's able to die quicker and it's much more difficult to get a kill and escape at 1 HP. It's a great change, and I hope they realize that lowering stats makes the game, regardless of format, feel better and more interactive. Iliari, who has been running amok in ranked and more coordinated casuals, so nerfs are definitely warranted. Unfortunately, it's just some number changes, increasing the max cooldown of Pylon and increasing the cost of her ult by a decent portion. But even though it's a decent nerf for now, they still need to address Iliari's fundamental issues and frustration points, especially with Pylon's duration. And finally, Lucio, who kinda caught a stray. It's not a huge nerf, but players will definitely feel it. This slight knockback decrease is really just to account for the tank passive's recently decreased knockback resistance. And the change really isn't more deep than that, even though Lucio is still very popular. With that hotfix patch out of the way, I wanted to reflect on the current patch. As a tank player, the tank changes are fun for now. You really do just feel completely unstoppable if you're outplaying people in a neutral matchup, or if you have the advantage over somebody, you really are just completely uncontested in a match. But the counter swapping issue is even worse now. Stats are higher and abilities are stronger, so the inherent counters are also more powerful into the characters that they shut down. Counter swapping into a favorable tank matchup, or better yet, having the majority of your team hard swap to focus down the enemy tank is even more valuable than it already has been. While this patch is good for casuals and the short-term fun factor, it doesn't address any of the fundamental issues of the tank role or the problematic format we're in. It's good to see the devs trying to make change, and being swift to react to community outcry. But so far, they have practically refused to really look at the format and the true core issues of Overwatch 2. With this patch, I think it's going to become much more apparent for many more people the flaws of 5v5 1-2-2, and that serious change needs to be made to make this game not only more competitive and better balanced, but most importantly, more fun. So here's to a hopeful future, and I hope that the devs learn from some of the changes that they've made that are good, like this Pharah HP change. But those are my thoughts for now. Thank you for clicking on the video. The last one actually went crazy. I'm surprised it got past 1,000 views, let alone 3,000. So I appreciate the support, and I'm going to keep working on this channel. So if you enjoyed the video and look forward to what I'm going to make in the future, please like and subscribe, and thank you for watching. See ya.